Hey everyone, on this day, I've decided to make a video on one of the most transformational books that you could probably get a hold of. And it is Donald Tyson's Grimoire of the Necronomicon. The back just goes right into it. The back cover says, "Drawn forth from the astral plane, set down in cold print, behold the one true book of ritual magic of the Cthulhu mythos, book of the old ones. The old ones were, the old ones are, and the old ones shall be. Great is their favor towards those who serve them, but greater still their malice against their foes. They walk the earth when the walls between worlds weaken, and the gates of Yog-Sothoth swing wide. At twilight they walk, and in the midst of morning before the ascent of the sun. When moon and sun cross paths on the dragon's head, and again on the dragon's tail they walk. The ground shakes with the rumble of distant thunder, and the air is sharp with the stench of burning brimstone." When I read that, I was like, fuck yeah, I gotta get this book, you know? It kind of has the same artwork design as his other Necronomicon, with the lettering and stuff. Like how they got that skull in the corner, and the clasps, and all the other stuff. It doesn't have bugs in this one like the other one did. But this book is a complete system of ritual magic for working with the seven great old ones of the Cthulhu mythos. I'm going to the table of contents right now, but the Book of the North Gate is knowledge. It sets the stage for the workings that follow. It tells you the information about each of the seven old ones. It talks about a poetic and spiritual form of creation, existence, and everything, almost turning it into a Bible of the old ones, so to speak. And the information given about each of the old ones is really useful because it helps you to formulate how their energies are, and how they can be called up through ritual magic. It also gives them a seal and a sigil. Man, back when I first got this book, I didn't realize the what I had in my hands, because when I first got it, I was really deep into Joy of Satan and all that. But I was like, okay, this is just ritual work of the old ones mixed with planetary energies and planetary magic. But after a time, I broke away from the other stuff and I dove down into this book. It talks about transformation is its main focus. A transformation of the self on every level, physical, mental, and spiritual. And it's a lot of work. I mean, this book can be part of your occult regimen for your entire life or lifetimes. The Book of the East Gate is foundation. It talks about sacred space. It talks about forming a stone circle, because if you look at the stories about the great old ones, they're always worshipped in stone circles. And it talks about how to set that up, how to gather the stones, how to create an altar of the old ones. It's really unique altar setup here. It's not like you would normally think. It talks about the gates that are around the altar and around the stone circle. The keys. You have a key for each old one that you use to petition them. Ritual apparel, like ritual robe, layman's, all that good stuff. Things associated with ceremonial magic, but in this case, it's directed towards the great old ones and petitioning them. The marks, referring to the sigils or seals of the great old ones, and the mark of the old ones for those who truly feel compelled to walk down this path and these paths. Those who have the book can recognize that right off the bat, what those two tattoos represent. So I can say that I have walked down these paths for years, since I was probably 23 or 24. The sealed discs, it talks about some more obscure aspects of the book, which I can't go into because in the book of the Southgate Practice, it has what's known as a oath of obedience, and I have taken the oath, so there are things I can't divulge in this video, but if you pick up the book, you'll have all the knowledge before you. The book of the Southgate talking about practice, the order of the old ones, which is what this book is mainly for, is creating a coven to work with the great old ones on a personal level, and for worldwide transformation is what its ultimate aim is, which this world could use some transformation because of the way everything is now. It's bullshit. Talks about, like I said, the oath of obedience, the nightly obeisance. It's a chant or invocation that you can say every night before you sleep to link up with the current and just connect with the current. Following this are rituals to each of the old ones for the days of the week. Donald Tyson associates the old ones with the planetary spheres of the sun, moon, and so on, of astrology. And the way I see it is the old ones aren't representatives of those planets, but they infiltrated those planets. And they tweak and alchematize the energies of the planetary spheres for their own purposes and their own uses. Almost like an encroachment upon reality by the old ones. And that's the way I work with this book, in that vein of thinking. Like I said, there's rituals to each of the old ones throughout the days of the week. When you first dive into this and you do the rituals every single day, your body is going to be like, what the hell is going on? Like, you might start seeing poltergeist type activities, shadow beings, mimics, even things that look like Shoggoths, and things that just appear like they shouldn't even be in this realm, because you're attracting so many different things to you, to your stone circle. Even ancient entities, ancient god forms that haven't been called up for thousands of years. It's very serious practice. It's very serious things that you're calling up. And when I first got this book, I didn't realize what I was doing exactly and how potent and long-lasting these effects are. And these rituals have a greater effect on reality than I originally intended or anticipated, because it's like tipping a domino, and the domino effect just continues on throughout your life. The Book of the Westgate is the book of attainment, and it talks about the 7 ways of chaos. The 7 ways of chaos are ways and paths that you can take after a year of study and practice to transform yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually into your higher self, into a greater state of being aligned with whatever great old one you decide to follow. And I had a veiled form of the 7 ways in that little short video that I posted. It was just kind of like a reflection of the knowledge of this book, but in image form. If people latched onto this book and took it at face value, what it really represents and the potential of this book, I believe this world could transform in a matter of years. Say if, I don't know, 1,000 people used this book and actually followed the rituals in it, the transformation on the astral plane would be immense, and this world would just be like propelled to a higher state of being. Everybody's talking about this whole rapture thing and everything. It's symbolic. The rapture is, in essence, self-perfection, transforming yourself into something higher, something greater, ascending to your higher self. And people don't realize that. They just think, oh, well, if I go to church every day, blah, 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 or whatever. No, you alchematize yourself. You become from lead into gold. You enact the great work of self-transformation. That's the main purpose of ceremonial magic is not to get, fame, fortune, sex, all that other stuff. When it comes down to it, it's self-transformation, realizing the futility of mortal existence and seeking higher spiritual attainments. But like I said, back with the Book of the Westgate, Attainment, it gives you the ways of attaining these higher states of being. And there's 7 ways, and there's a grand ritual where you can make a pledge on the at the throne of ultimate chaos before Azathoth. And when you attain that, it's something that you can't put into words, and it's different for everybody. Y'all see, sometimes I go by the name Lord Nocturnus. I walked down this path for years. There's 3 ranks: servant, master, and lord. And I attained the rank of lord by voicing the long chant and ascending to the throne of Azathoth, and I stood before him and made my statements there. But yeah, I can't really reveal much else about this book because I have taken the oath, and it's an oath of secrecy. But this book is public knowledge. I mean, you can find it anywhere, so that the knowledge of this book is definitely out there, but stuff that I personally learned from the old ones I can't really share with people. But I can say overall that that book has had a profound effect on me and the way I experience reality. You pass through gates with that book, and it permanently transforms who you are. You see reality different. You feel less human as time goes on. You become basically a living old one on Earth. And one day I may make a Order of the Old Ones coven if I can find people worthy enough to join it, because it is heavy work. It is really intensive. And there is a lot of creation of ritual tools and everything. And I've noticed in the past, people haven't been able to handle. They were originally interested in it, actually joining an Order of the Old Ones, but when it came down to actually practicing and studying and self-transformation, that's when they shot away from it. That plus, it is very psychically intensive. You will start experiencing horrors beyond anyone's imagining, because you are opening yourself up to all of these chaotic manifestations of reality on the astral plane. And if you can't steal your mind and your heart, there is possibility of insanity with this book. There is a Elder Seal, which can protect you if your life or sanity is ever in danger. But I think that regardless how strong your mind is, you will hit a threshold to where you will enter the realm of you just have to let go. You just have to become one with the chaos. You have to become one with the vastness of the cosmos, the insignificance of humanity, and you'll definitely be transformed by this book for sure. I would give it a 9 out of 10 stars if I had to rate it. I don't know if it's still available now, except maybe on different websites for used books, because it went out of print a while back, and Llewellyn, the publisher, wouldn't answer questions about it. And I found that really strange. It was like, because I was going to buy bulk orders of it, and I was going to start Coven of the Old Ones, Order of the Old Ones, as written down in the book. And I think they realized that they woke up a sleeping serpent with that book, and they tried to put it back to sleep. But I don't think it's going to be able to be put back to sleep. And I think it needs to awaken fully. I think Ouroboros needs to release his tail and break the circle and bring in a new eon. And I believe this book is instrumental in that. If you take the book at face value and what it represents, you could run with it, and you could use that framework and develop your own system of transformation with the influence of the great old ones and their agents. Whether it becomes something on the greater reality, time will tell. It's been out for a while, but I'm sure there are some hidden orders of the old ones out there. You do see some covens like the Cult of Cthulhu and stuff like that out there, and the Esoteric Order of Dagon. So it's branching out, leeching out in its own way. The 23 current is. But I think this book could be foundational to something monumentous, talking apocalyptic, transformative, into the world rapture type shit. But yeah, anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this book review. It's a book I'm really passionate about. And yeah, I think that about covers it for this this Grimoire review. It's definitely worth checking out. And if you decide to dive into it, I look forward to seeing you in the shadows. Infernal Hells.